Oh, ho, ho. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Inside Track, Equibase's weekly handicapping podcast, where we give our analysis, picks, and wagers for a couple of the weekend's top races. I'm your host, Santa Claus, and all the way from Whoville is Mr. Grinch, aka Ellis Starr, Equibase's national racing analyst with decades of handicapping experience. And most days, Ellis sits on top of his mountain, watching a couple races, reading the racing form, looking down on Whoville with his beloved dog, Max. But hopefully by the end of the show, his heart will grow 3 times in size. So, Mr. Grinch, thank you for being here, from taking a break, plotting the demise of the Whobilation in your hometown of Whoville to be here today.
Well, thank you very much. That intro made me all toasty inside.
I bet. Looking adorable as always. I love it. You and I kind of have a feud, but, by the end of the movie, I was kind of a fan. But anyway, so today's show is a bit different. I took a little break from the North Pole to face off against the Grinch in a betting challenge to save Christmas. Santa and the Grinch will each get $20 a race with any bet allowed except for multi-race wagers. Whoever wins the most money at the end is the winner. If Santa wins, he will save Christmas. If the Grinch wins, Ellis will personally come to your home and take your presents, unless he finds the holiday cheer for all to hear. So we will be facing off in the Untappable Stakes at Fairgrounds, the Grade 2 Fort Lauderdale Stakes, and the Grade 3 Suwannee River Stakes at Gulfstream Park, because nothing says Christmas like sunshine and palm trees. So let's take Santa's sleigh down to the bayou for the black type Untappable Stakes at Fairgrounds, a Road to Kentucky Dirt Oaks prep race, for 2-year-old fillies going 1.70 miles on the dirt. Last year's winner was Alpine Princess for trainer Brad Cox with Ferran Giroux aboard. Field of 8 here on Saturday. Mr. Grinch, how do you plan on beating me with $20 in this race? Because I'm not taking this lightly. I'm Father Christmas. I mean, this is everything. But anyway, let's hear it.
Because I'm green, isn't it? Isn't it? Anyway, we're going to start with California Sunset for the Brad Cox Barn, a daughter of Quality Road, who ran really well in her second career start, first around 2 turns. We're going to look at that race on October 27th. If I can see my PPs through my Grinchy eyes here. I think that's right. I'll bring up that replay and talk about it, but she ran very well. She improved to an 81 Equibase speed figure. I think she can move up about another 7 points, which is what we expect second to third start. I'm going to look at this race now, pick it up midway, in which it's really interesting because she was 5th here, you got your note, number
4, I believe.
Yeah, she's running 5th. She'll be coming up here in the, Gary Barber Silks, the pink with the black cap, really wide.
Really wide. Oh my gosh.
Nice, probably 7 or 8 paths wide here into the stretch. And California Sunset is just going to extend her stride. The jock really didn't move a muscle when she was making that move around horses, and then she dug in. She had to battle. She battled head and head for 1/8 of a mile. Still came out on top. Now she's been off longer than Golden Gamble, who was also in that race, if I remember, was 3rd. And that's
There, yeah.
okay because that race took a lot out of her. Giroux's up. Brad Cox has won the race before. He won the race last year with Alpine Princess off a mile and a 16th win, the same pattern as this year. So she's my top pick. The second's going to be Golden Gamble, number 4, and I think we're going to take a look at that one also. Similarly, she's going to make a move on her own. This was also at Churchill Downs. It was November 23rd, so about a month later, and that was coming off the debut when she was 3rd to California Sunset. Golden Gamble in this race going to be the 7, and you can see she's barely being moved at all by Brian Hernandez Jr., who rides her back. She's going to be a little green here in the stretch, but she's going to open up. She's going to win by a really big margin. I think through my green eyes, it looks like 8 lengths. And she got an 84 figure in that race. The only reason that I'm like California Sunset a little more is because she's been off more and she improved. Golden Gamble improved 7 Equibase speed figure points. So California Sunset improves again. She could win, but there's certainly no knock on Golden Gamble, who's the 5-2 morning line favorite. California Sunset's 9-2. And the other horse in the race that I have giving a shot to is the horse on the outside, Drexel Hill, number 8, who's shipping in from Woodbine. She's only run all weather 4 times, improved from 75 to 82. Now, that 75 was her first two-turn race. She ran second in a maiden race at a mile and 70 yards, and then she shortened up to 7 furlongs and won pretty impressively with an 82 figure. She's by Bolt Doro, who that kind of makes me not concerned about moving from the all-weather to the dirt, because Bolt Doro is the sire of Instant Coffee. If those people recall, Instant Coffee won the 2023 LeCompte Stakes at Fairgrounds, so can get the dirt. So those are my picks in the race, the 5, 4, and 8. And for my challenge against you, Santa, I'm going to bet $20 to win on California Sunset.
That was not what we discussed. I believe you had a $10 exacta, 5-4 with a $5 exacta.
Oh, that's
5
right.
and
I'm
6,
sorry.
8.
No, you're right. That's the wrong
Oh,
race.
he's trying to pull a sly one on me, changing up his bets.
I couldn't. I
Oh, this is
wouldn't. I
all
shouldn't. I
right
couldn't.
now.
I
Okay.
can't. I mustn't. I must stick to the script. Yes, you're correct. I'm betting a $10 exacta of 5-4 California Sunset over Golden Gamble, and a $5 exacta of California Sunset over the 8 Drexel Hill and the 6 Amarth, who I didn't discuss, who also comes off a nice win. That's what I'm playing in the Untapable.
Well, thank you, Mr. Grinch. I hope you lose it all. But anyway, so here's Santa's bets. That's down there on the bottom of your screen. I really like this number 6, Amarth, with a morning line of 7-2, third choice here. By First Crop Stallion Mackenzie filly out of an Intimissif Dam, running as a homebred for Green Lantern Stables for the Eddie Keneally barn with Luis Saez in the saddle. Rapidly improving filly with increasing speed figures in every start. Ran a 59 in her debut, finishing 7th after being bumped between horses. Then came back to run a 79, winning a maiden special weight 100,000 at Keeneland, going 7 furlongs. And then ran an 82 last time out, winning an allowance optional, claiming 100,000 by a head, going a mile and a 16th. If you watch that race, she stayed on the rail mid pack coming around the final turn. Gaffalione really had to ask. Went between horses into the lane and went out to the 5 path and had enough in the tank to prevail and rally late after some slow fractions as well. So to me, it was really impressive race for 2-year-old filly and gained a ton of experience. She also beat the one in here, Stable Currency, who won by over 22 lengths at Hawthorne. So Saez was aboard when she broke her maiden at Keeneland, and I love that he's back on her on Saturday. In the past 3 years, Keneally and Saez are winning at 30% with a plus 264% ROI in non-graded stakes races together. That's the type of ROI that Santa loves even more than milk and cookies. So she's a 7-2 morning line. However, I think she will be bet down a little bit more. In the past 2 months, Eddie Keneally is winning at 71%, 5 of 7, when sending out the post-time favorite stat lines. You can find those on equibase.com. Also, breeding is very important with these 2-year-olds. Progeny of First Crop Sire Mackenzie are winning at 25% and 56% in the money in dirt routes. And the Damn Criminal Mischief has had 3 foals to race, and they're winning at 40% in dirt routes and 80% in the money. 2 wins from 5 starts and 4 in the money. Small sample size. She only has 3 to race. So 7-2, Santa will take those odds all day. But the real question is, how do we make money with the top play? Try to save Christmas with $20. So the 4 Golden Gamble looks really tough in here, coming off a 9-length victory and a maiden special weight at CD that we just saw. 5 California Sunset beat Golden Gamble, and they're 5-2 and 9-2 morning lines respectively. I want to add some other horses in here and try to get some value. So first off, $5 to win and show on number 6, Amarth. So I have $10 left. And then $1 exacta part wheel 6 with 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and $1 exacta part wheel 1, 2, 4, 5, 7 on top of 6 for a total of $10. So those are Santa's winning wagers right there. So there is your Untappable Stakes. Let's hop back on the sleigh and let Rudolph take us to the Sunshine State for the grade 2 Fort Lauderdale Stakes at Gulfstream Park, going a mile and an eighth on the turf for 3-year-olds and up. This is Equibase's race of the week, by the way, so be sure to visit equibase.com/free for free premium past performances, stat lines, race analysis, speeding class, eGraphs, Flashnet, and more. Last year's winner was main event at odds of 11-1 for trainer George Weaver with Javier Castellano aboard. Field of 9 here on Saturday. Mr. Grinch, what is your play?
Well, I want to win some money, so we're going to take win for the money in this race. Win for the money ran really well one race before last, winning the Grade 1 Woodbine Mile. Very excellent race, a career best 111 Equibase speed figure. Gets Dylan Davis to ride. We're going to look at that race, by the way, because it is a race that's very representative of what Win for the Money can do today. We're going to pick it up about the 110 mark, I believe, when we get there. Also, Win for the Money is 2 for 3 at Gulfstream with won a race and was DQ'd. Here, Win for the Money in this race is going to be rallying from 6th to 4th to 2nd, number 6. Coming up with nice stride, 13-1, not regarded very highly at all in the race. Going to be coming on, still moving. Doesn't look like the winner at all at this point, but going to get up and win the race very impressively here. Got the nice trip and going to get a good trip again. Again, likes Gulfstream, as I said, a second DQ'd and then won at Gulfstream on the grass in July of 23, back in top form. You can ignore the last race, even though the Woodbine Mile and the Breeders' Cup Mile, which he ran in since then, are both grade ones. They're much different races. The Breeders' Cup Mile, much tougher field than the Woodbine Mile. So this is good. Gets a real double drop in class and should be able to do well. Second contender in the race is the 2. Going to be Grand Sonata. Grand Sonata adds blinkers. Also comes out of Breeders' Cup race. Breeders' Cup Turf. Ran 11th of 13 in the race. Before that, won the Kentucky Turf Cup. Been running in marathon races, but has really good form. In last year's Fort Lauderdale, Grand Sonata rallied fast from 8th, furiously actually, to end up 4th in a 4-horse blanket finish, beating a total 3/4 on the wire. Gets Tyler Gaffalione, who has been up, believe it or not, for all 5 of his wins. Horse has 24 races, 5 wins, 6 seconds, 2/3. Gaffalione's been up 12 of those 24 and accounts for all 5 wins. So that's really nice. Gaffalione was up also for the win in the Turf Cup. Other third contender is going to be the 4. Going to be Major Dude for Todd Fletcher. Grinch is knocking his mic off down. Todd Fletcher, blame it on the mask. 6 for 17. Again, Irad Ortiz gets back on, has risen to 2 races. Ortiz was up for a win in the Penn Mile back in the spring of 23. Really liked the workout at Palm Beach Downs. Best of 24 for a half a mile. Says he's in form, and the class drop helps. Won 3 back at Saratoga very nicely. Major Dude, the 3rd pick in the race. And for the Santa versus Grinch play, is going to be $20 to win. Just a straight win bet on the 5. Win for the money. And I hope these picks don't stink, stank, stunk.
That is amazing. Thank you, Grinch, for being as animated as you are. Honestly, better actor than Jim Carrey, in my opinion. But anyway, I love Major Dude in here, the 4. Morning lines haven't come out yet. We're recording this on Thursday, but I will probably be the favorite, but we'll see. He's a 4-year-old colt for the Todd Pletcher barn with Irad Ortiz Jr. in the irons. Last 3 years, Pletcher and Ortiz Jr. are winning at 31%, 9 of 29, and 59% in the money in graded stakes races at Gulfstream Park together. Major Dude coming off a really nice win in an allowance, 140,000 at Keeneland, running a 113 Equibase speed figure, and a really impressive 3-year-old campaign, winning the Grade 3 Kittens Joy Stakes in February of 2023 at Gulfstream and the Grade 2 Penn Mile at Penn National back in June of 2023. Took a 9-month layoff after finishing 6th by 8.5 lengths at Kentucky Downs in September of 2023. Came back this year in June to run in an AOC 80,000 at Saratoga, finishing 2nd by a neck at Belmont at the Big A. A month later, he won an AOC 80K at Saratoga, going a mile and an eighth on the turf, running a 106 Equibase speed figure. Then finished 5th to Carl Spackler, we saw win the Grade 1 turf mile at Keeneland, and More Than Looks, who won the Breeders' Cup Mile. I think Pletcher put him in a great spot here, working really well at Palm Beach Downs. 2 of his last 4 workouts were bullets. Nice late pace rating of a 115. 100% in the exacta on the Gulfstream Park turf with a win in a second. 100% in the exacta at this distance with a win in a second. Place finish in the Grade 3 Jeff Ruby Stakes on the all-weather, losing to 2 Phils, who ran 2nd in the Kentucky Derby last year. Irad Ortiz has been just on fire at Gulfstream, winning at a 33%, leading all jockeys with 22 wins. I'm all about it. But there's definitely some value in here. I mean, Cash Equity, another horse who lost to a couple of very good horses. Carl Speckler, More Than Looks in a different race. The grade 1 4-star Dave. Safi and Zayas, they cannot be ignored when they team up, winning at 27% together at Gulfstream Park in the last 3 years, 236 wins from 871 starts. Best late pace rating in here of a 116 as well, which I was kind of surprised at, but nonetheless, that is true. I don't think he has enough to win, but definitely keep him underneath. Win for the money. I totally agree with you, Mr. Grinch. That horse looks very tough. Grand Sonata, best average speed with a 110, second in an average class. I love that Tyler Gaffalione thing. I didn't even catch that. But anyway, so Santa, let's put Santa's bets here in the Fort Lauderdale. So I'm going to do $8 to win on Major Dude and a 50-cent trifecta box, 1, 2, 4, 5. So those are my plays. So I normally would say good luck, Mr. Grinch, but not today. No, sir. Not against old Chris Kringle. But anyway, last but not least.
Menu with my tassel. Here you go.
Well, because you're trying to look like me so you can steal presents. That's just really uncool. You're impersonating me. But that's here nor there. But last but not least, we have the grade 3 Suwannee River Stakes at Gulfstream Park. A mile on the turf for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up. Last year's winner was Full Count Felicia for trainer Brittany Russell with Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard. Full Count Felicia went on to win the grade 2 Canadian Stakes and the grade 1 Eat Peach Taylor Stakes this year at Woodbine. Full field of 12. I kind of had a hard time handicapping this one, so I kept it simple. I think you did too, but how do you plan on beating Santa here?
Well, I'm looking at all the horses that run in the U.S., and then we have some foreign horses. Got Bless My Stars from South Africa making her U.S. debut. Got Breath Away from Great Britain, who's been running here a while. We got the other South African Golden Hostess with 2 starts. And this number 3 horse, Ribble Tagaya. I think I'm saying that correct. And a very interesting horse because on class, she sticks out. This filly, 3-year-old filly, ran in the grade 1 Prix de Forêt in her last start, the group 1, I should say, the group 3 Prix de Lurie, the group 1 Prix Rothschild, and a regular stakes race, and the group 2 Prix de Sandringham. But I always remind people when you think about group races, group 2 in Europe is a grade 1 in the U.S. So these are some tough horses, including one of them was Soprano, who ran second in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes at Keeneland this fall. Another was, I can't remember his name, Mose de Seguin, who came back to run very well and ran the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Turf, didn't run well, and a bunch of other good horses. So on class, she sticks out. Now, her best race was back in June when second in the Prix de Sandringham with a 104 equity speed figure. She was 3-1. She got beat a half a length for second as the winner drew off. And Junior Alvarado rides. Now, usually you can find data on the trainer, and I love looking at this stuff. I really didn't know about this trainer, whose name is Gianluca Biatolini. And I found his record in Europe, and I went, whoa, been training, or at least the record goes back to 2015, 267 wins in 2,700 races, $11 million US. Not a bad trainer at all. So I think on class, if this filly's ready, and she only ran in October, so she's not like she's coming back of a laugh, I think she can win off that 104 figure effort back in the Group 2 back in June. So I'm taking a shot. I think she'll be a nice price because her recent form with 16th, 8th, and 3rd place finishes is going to scare some bettors off. The one, Ocean Club, is the best of the local contingent. She won the identical Noble Damsel Stakes at a mile on grass at Belmont of the Big A in September. She won it from the rail. She led wire to wire. She also won a stakes at Gulfstream, the Monroe Stakes on turf back in May, coming from just off the pace with Gonzalez up, who actually, believe it or not, is up for 4 of her 5 career wins. Gets back on. She shifts back to Florida for Sisterson, for Glen Hill, and I think she can probably try and play come catch me here. So she's going to be a contender all the way down. And the 12, Bless My Stars, gets not a great post for a mile, but Other South Africans, she ran one of the biggest races in South Africa, the Group 1 Beltway Summer Stakes last May. I read a story that Team Valor purchased her and she had a setback. So that's why she hasn't run since February. But if Fletcher thinks she's ready and he's really good off these big layoffs, and Irad Ortiz is riding her best form with 109, 109, 104 Echo-based speed figures in South Africa, fits here. So those are the contenders 3, 1, and 12. And even though this can't happen, it shouldn't happen, it couldn't happen, it mustn't happen, it wouldn't happen, but it will happen, I'm betting $20 to win on Ribble to Gaia.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Mr. Grinch, despite your impersonation attempts, I do got to say, I have much respect for taking a shot in that 3. I think you're going to get a fantastic price. I kind of had a similar betting strategy here. When I first looked at this race, I was like, okay, I kind of want to play a trifecta, try to maybe hit something big. No, sir. I think there's a lot that could happen underneath, so I'm going to kind of keep it simple. I'll just be doing $20 to win on Bless My Stars. Interesting Group 1 winner from South Africa. That's very interesting that's when Team Valor purchased him. But Raceland's angle, horses at Gulfstream Park on the turf whose last race was not in North America are winning at a 23% clip in the past year from 13 starts. So has not run since February when he finished 5th by 3 1/4 lengths in the Grade 3 London New Stakes at the Turfentine in South Africa. In the last 3 years, Todd Pletcher is winning at 32% and 56% in the money in graded stakes races with horses more than 180-day layoff. 8 wins from 25 starts. Owned by Gary Barber and Team Valor International, 2 powerhouse ownership groups. Irad Ortiz gets the mount for trainer Todd Pletcher. Over the past 2 weeks, it's actually a big sample size. Ortiz Jr. is winning at 38% from 47 starts when first time riding. She won the Grade 1 South Africa Fillies Classic in March of 2023, running a 104 Equibase speed figure. She won the Grade 2 Gold Bracelet Stakes in July of 2023. 2 starts back, she finished 3rd by a couple lengths in the Grade 1 Summer Cup, and also the best average speed in here with a 104 average. All the way from South Africa. And I'll tell you what, that takes a while to get there from Santa's sleigh. The North Pole and South Africa, they're pretty far apart if you didn't know. Another interesting horse in here is the 11 Breathaway, a Great Britain bred 4-year-old filly who loves the Gulfstream turf. 2 wins and a second, with her second being the Tropical Park Oaks last year to the 10 Be My Sunshine. Since then, she's been improving every start. Ranked first in a late pace rating with a 111. Ran a 108 Equibase speed figure last time out, finishing second back by a neck in the Forever Together Stakes at Aqueduct, November 10th to the 1 Ocean Club in here. The past 3 months, Christophe Clement is winning at 50%, 3 of 6 in route races at Gulfstream Park with a $2 ROI of $7.33. Don't get down on the dumps on me for these small sample sizes. They just are what they are. Okay. I think definitely we'll run a tough race, but I think a lot of different scenarios can happen in here. And I'm just going to go $20 straight on number 12, Bless My Stars. So we will find out all in with a 24-minute span if Santa will save Christmas, because all these races are going off at like 5 and 5:24 on Saturday. So anyway, Mr. Grinch, thank you for coming back from Whoville to be here.
I'm just so pleased. And like I said, I really, really hope that everything goes great. And I'm feeling so toasty inside.
Amazing. Well, to all, a good night and good luck in your wagers this week. And we'll see you next week.